Hey everybody, this is Kevin and welcome to a brand new video build series on the DeAgostini kit of the Lotus Renault 97T F1 car, famously driven by the late Ayrton Senna back in the, well, this car of this model was driven by him in the mid 80s. It's a very popular car. It's the black Johnny Player Special, and you can see here in the photo what it looks like and what the kit looks like. And I will warn you, this is going to be a very long and drawn out build series because it's a subscription service, and every month I will receive a few stages to build, and it's going to take the course of over 2 years probably to get through the whole build. So we'll do it step by step, very methodically, and we'll build it together. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, pack one, stage one consists of building the front wing and the infamous yellow national helmet that he wore. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the items from the packaging and we will start our building here on the front wing. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take the front left wing, and you'll know it's left because it's marked with an L, and the bottom panel also marked with an L, and they simply snap together. Now these are plastic parts. And we're going to take 2 of the MP screws. I'm going to use my PH0 screwdriver and simply attach these 2 parts. Until they're nice and snug. Now it is plastic, so I don't want to over torque it and strip out the threads. So perfect. Okay, next up we're going to take our left front wing that we just assembled, and we're going to take the front end plate that attaches to the outer tip, and we're going to fit these 2 little notches into this rectangle here on the end plate, and then that will align our 2 holes for the 2 AP screws to go into. Okay, and again, we're working with plastic, so we don't want to over thread or over tighten the threads and strip anything. Put those line right up. Once you feel resistance, we'll stop. And there we go. Okay, now this next piece is a little fiddly. It's the upper part of the front wing, and it's a little flap that sits just above and behind the front wing, and the word Goodyear will be facing forward. And you'll notice there's a little notch there on the end plate with 2 little holes. That's going to fit right into this upper notch there with the 2 holes on either end. And this time using BP screws, which are even smaller, so this time I'm using a PH00 screwdriver. We're going to thread that into the wing. And again, just snug enough to hold it. I'm not going to crank down on it, so there we have it. Okay, now we're going to combine all of those steps that we did to do the left front wing, and we're going to do it all again for the right wing, front wing. And you'll notice they are marked with the letter R, and I've already got my screws laid out. We're going to start out with the MP screws. Go ahead and pick one up here. I find it really useful to use magnetic tipped screwdrivers, especially for these little screws. Let's use it to pick it up. Okay, then we're going to take our end plate and attach it like so. Okay, then again with Goodyear facing forward, slip that right in that notch. Okay, for this one I'm going to use the smaller 00. Okay, there we have it. We've got the two front wings fully assembled, ready to go. Okay, and the last part of this stage build is the building of the helmet, which now this is not plastic, this is solid metal. You can feel the weight and the sturdiness of it. Very high quality piece here. But to be non-politically correct, which I'm not, we will be installing the Johnny Player special decal, which they send you in the kit, but they don't advertise it and they don't show it in any of the diagrams. We are going to place this on the helmet as it was, but because it was a cigarette brand, I guess due to legal rights now they can't advertise with it. But I'm not worried about that, so we're going to be installing, I keep saying installing, I should say adding this decal onto the helmet. So let me drop it in some cold water. It's just water slide decal. Let it soak for about 30 seconds. I've got a pair of tweezers. Got a cute couple Q-tips here and a paper towel to dab any excess liquid off. Once we get that on, then we will worry about installing our windshield or windscreen on the visor to the helmet. All right, let's see if it's making any progress here. I will, with my fingers, dab a little water and put a little bit of water on the front of the helmet where it's going to be applied. And to do this, you probably have to look up, well, I had to look up pictures on the internet to see where that decal was actually applied, and it's just right on the front top of where the visor is going to go. So let me go ahead and see if it's broken free. It has, so I'm just going to lay it down, and then we can kind of work it into place here. Kind of work it around. Center it between the two national decals. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to hold one side down and I'm just going to roll the Q-tip to help push out any air and water that's underneath it. There we go. Well, that looks really good. Let me finesse it just a little bit. Beautiful. Very quality decals they have. Okay, perfect. And let me just take my paper towel and kind of press down and roll. I'm not sliding because then you're going to end up moving it. But there we go. Got the decal on. Okay, the next step is to take your visor and lay it down over the holes, and on each side we're going to apply an AM screw, which are once again itty bitty little guys. So I'm going to use my smallest screwdriver, which is the 00. And this one, I've heard recommendations that if you're going to screw into metal, you might want to dip it in some oil just to help, so I'm going to do that. Just dip the tip of the screw. Okay. How much movement we want on this visor, because it looks like it is to where you can open it if you so choose. But once the kit is done, I doubt I'll be working that too much. But it does open and close, so that's nice. Okay, that's good. All right, we're going to leave it just like that. Again, very high quality helmet piece. I really like the feel, the weight. This is a solid piece. So with that, we are now done with stage 1. Okay, stage 2 consists of building the rear wing. So let me go ahead and get this parts pack opened up and we will begin assembly. Okay, the first step is taking the 2 rear wing flags and the top and the bottom and simply aligning up these 3 little pegs into these 3 little holes and pressing them to fit. Now if it's tight enough, we'll just leave it as is, but if I think it needs some glue, maybe after the fact I'll add some, but you know what, that seems pretty solid to me, so I don't think that's coming out. So I think we can avoid needing any glue on there. So alright, that was a pretty simple step. Okay, now we're going to take this small, thin, it almost feels like metal because it's got some weight to it, but I guess it's plastic. I can't really tell though for sure, but this definitely is plastic. So we're going to take this, what's called a gurney flap, and attach it to the rear wing top flap. And you'll notice there's 5 holes here on top, and there's 5 holes in this little gurney flap here. And you want it so the little rim is facing upward. I'm not sure how focused that is. So you take 5 CP screws. And by the way, if I mention any screw that ends with a P, that means we're screwing it into plastic. And if it ends with an M, we're screwing it into metal, which makes sense. So this is plastic. Let me get this one started. Oh. There we go. And I'm not going to tighten it down, I'm just going to get it started so it holds it. And we do the outer screws. Okay, nice. Okay, so that takes care of the gurney flap attachment. Okay, the next step, we're going to take the rear wing, which is basically an upside down airplane wing, airfoil. You can see the shape there. It's, like I said, an airplane wing, which would normally look like that, but it's inverted. And we're going to take our left side end plate, and we're going to use the silver AP screws. And I'm going to start with the front screw and see if I can't align that into the hole on the side plate. And if I can just get it started, there, then it'll hold while I attach the other 2 screws. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to cinch them down until I get them all 3 started. There, just snug to where it stops. I'm not going to over torque it. Perfect. Okay, nice snug fit. Okay, now we're going to take our previously built rear wing flag, the one that just snapped together, and we're going to attach it to the same end plate that we just attached the rear wing to. And if you look, there's 2 little rectangular slots sticking up right there on the end, and then the 2 holes for the screws. Well, those 2 slots are going to fit into these 2 open slots right there. on the side plate, and then that'll align it for the AP screws to fit in. So let's go ahead and get them on the screwdriver. See if we can get these slots to line up. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can get one started here. Okay, got that one started. We'll get the other one in. There we go. And just snug those up. All right. Okay, the next little step is to continue on the left side end plate of the rear wing, and we're going to attach this little gurney flap that we created earlier with those 5 little plastic screws. So similar construction, we're going to fit, there's a little peg there, fits into a little hole in the plate. And before I get that, let me go ahead and get the screw started in the screwdriver. And let's see if I can't get that in here. Okay. Okay, that pretty much wraps up the left-hand side of the wing. Okay, this next step is going to be a fiddly little piece. We're going to connect the flaps at this little junction here, which actually looks somewhat like a hinge joint. And we're going to take the FM screw and nut, which is metal, hence the M in the title. And we're going to run the screw from left to right. And let's see if I can't get it through both hinge holes initially. There we go. And then I'm going to take my tweezers and hopefully we can get them to thread onto that little bolt. Again, very fiddly little operation here. I think the trick is just getting it started. Once we get it started, then it will be easy to continue threading it in. Well, I'd love to tell you how much fun I had putting that nut on that little screw, but I can't tell you because I didn't have fun putting that little nut on the screw. Off camera, that took me a better part of 10 to 15 minutes, and now I'm just kind of cinching it down tight. But I'll tell you, that was not fun. And then three times that little nut went flying out of my tweezers onto my shag carpet. Not fun. Trying to find that little nut. But okay, we got it cinched down tight, so we are finished with that step. Fortunately, moving on. Okay, now we get to take the right rear wing end plate and attach a whole bunch of screws. Let's see, we got 5 AP screws and 2 BP screws, and then we're going to do some other little fiddly attachments as well. So let's see if I can't find the holes to line up here. Let me go ahead and grab an AP screw, and we're just going to get it locked in to start with to hold it in position while we get the other ones going. Let's go with the very front screw, just because I think that'll be kind of easy to find here. Yeah, okay. Okay, got that started. Now let's continue on. Snug. And snug. There we go. All right, now we just need a couple of the BP screws for the uppermost wing. Yeah, that just pops right in position there. Well, or so I thought. Let's see if I can't get the holes threaded in. Oh yeah, that was it. Okay, there we go. Everything both left and right put together there. Okay, now we're going to attach this rear wing crossbar, which is basically looks like threaded steel wire, and there's threaded ends on each side, and we're going to take these silver CP screws, which I actually think should be called CMs personally, because if I'm not mistaken, that's a metal little piece right there. Anyway, we're going to thread it in from each side. Let me get it started. We'll see if this does create tension across the span of the wing. Yeah, it does. It does create tension. Very cool. All right, so I already snugged that one down. Nice. Nice and strong. All right. Okay, now for some fun. We're going to put the Johnny Player, I should say John Player Special decal on the rear wing. It's going to go on the middle section, which is the rear top wing, right in that area right there centered. So let me go ahead and slide it out and drop it in the water. We'll give it about 30 seconds or so to separate. Let me kind of water down the area we're going to place it. That'll allow us to slide it around a little bit and maneuver it. Okay. Got my tweezers. I'm going to actually do it this way. Now, there's no easy way to do this because it's at an awkward angle. Let me see if I can take a roll of... Yeah, there we go. All right, take my duct tape to hold it up there. Okay, that might have given us enough time to get this broken free. Yep. Okay. So we'll just lay that down. Okay. Oh, that is one slick looking decal. Okay. Wow, that looks sharp. Okay, kind of pulled it out to get all the wrinkles out of it. Let me run the Q-tip along it. Whoops. Oh, yeah, just easy enough to pull it right back out again. Okay. I'll turn it around. Okay, let me take a piece of paper towel here and just kind of use it to soak up any residual water. Boy, that looks really, really sharp. Okay, awesome. There we go. Okay, so that wraps up stages 1 and 2 out of package number 1. And just to kind of recap, we did finish the rear wing, and we got the decal placed on nicely. It looks really sharp. I'm loving the decals. And one thing I do want to show you additionally is on the front wings, which was stage 1, I did add some decals that I forgot to put on, and I found them after the fact. And because the instructions are somewhat against promoting John Player's cigarettes, they don't, it's not right in your face on the instructions to put the decals on. It's sort of there, but it's hidden in the instructions. So I missed it the first time. But anyway, you can see there I've got that and on the end plate, and I've got that on both wings there. And again, who does not love that iconic Argentina yellow John Player helmet that he wore? Well, actually, not just John Player. He wore this helmet in every car that he drove, going back to his go-kart days. So, awesome way to start out the build. We'll see you next week on the next package 2, and I think that's stages 3, 4, and 5, if I'm not mistaken. So, anyway, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. God bless. Bye-bye.